Hello everyone. Now I would like to present about research report with the title Can Workplace Well-being Increase Readiness for Change? The Role of Psychological Capital. And this is our team. Mrs. Munawaroh, Mr. Saparudin Mokhtar, Mrs. Ryna PARLYNA, Mr. Dediek KURNIAWAN, Mrs. Widya Parimita, Mrs. Susan Febriantina, and Mrs. Cynthia Khairunisa. Before we start this presentation, let me read the table of contents. First, abstract. Second, introduction. Third, theoretical review. Fourth, hypothesis. Fifth, material and methods. Sixth, results and discussion. And the last is conclusion. First is abstract. The population in this study were all diploma-level educators at the State University of Jakarta with a sample of 200 respondents. The result of the study proved that exogenous variable or workplace well-being and psychological capital have a positive and significant effect on endogenous variable or individual readiness to change in diploma-level educators at the State University of Jakarta. The result also proved that psychological capital is capable of being a mediator between the influence of workplace well-being on individual readiness to change positively and significantly. Testing the research models using structural equation modeling partial least x square or SEMPLS. The data analysis technique was carried out in three stages, namely the inner model, outer model, and hypothesis testing. And second is introduction. The concept of readiness to change is well established in the prevailing literature and has been examined from several perspectives, illuminating the situational, individual, and organizational factors that underpin readiness to change. Psychological capital represents a person's positive assessment of environmental attitude and probability for success based on motivated effort and persistence. Educators today face several challenges, including rapid technological breakthroughs, increasing demands from teaching and home. So the psychological capital will direct educators to be positive when faced with challenge. Strengths that characterize psychological capital are hope, efficacy, resilience, and optimism, using intervention thus making psychological capital even more relevant today. Theoretical review. A. Workplace well-being against individual readiness to change. Well-being may not be achieved in the unitary or simultaneous fashion in all domains or individual's life. In particular, the workplace is only one arena where an individual may attain state of well-being. Workplace well-being that is owned by employees contribute to increased readiness for change in employees. Well-being in the workplace owned by educators will contribute to the emergence of positive attitude toward the organization, which is in the case is a university. B. Psychological capital against individual readiness to change. According to Levin, to raise the desire of employees to be involved with change can be done by increasing each element, self-efficacy, optimism, hope, and resilience, that exist in the individual psychological capital. Other than that, Ryna believed that individuals need to prepare psychological research in the form of psychological capital to increase readiness for change to an organizational change that will or are being carried out in the organization. Carrying out this initiative by allowing time, space, and activities to develop the level of psychological capital can increase educators' self-readiness for change to encourage educators to adapt effectively to change that are being planned on or implemented by the university. C. Workplace well-being against psychological capital. Another possible mechanism is that psychological capital facilitates well-being by enabling a positive assessment of workplace events, generating job satisfaction, increasing positive attention and memory retention, and by facilitating a positive evaluation of one's research for working effectively in the workplace. D. Psychological capital mediates the effect of workplace well-being on individual readiness to change. The psychological capital is a positive psychological state held by individuals, which is characterized by four dimensions. High psychological capital can keep employees positive in the face of pressure, such as a job insecurity, and help them cope well with the stress and challenge. Willard proposed that the research provided by psychological capital can offset psychological debt, or including job insecurity and work pressure, thus generating net psychological wealth to some extent. Having high psychological capital increases self-efficacy and optimism among employees. Employees with a high psychological capital tend to believe that all obstacles in the process of achieving goals can be resolved. Hypothesis. First, workplace well-being against individual readiness to change. Second, psychological capital against individual readiness to change. And third, workplace well-being against psychological capital. And fourth, psychological capital mediates the effect of workplace well-being on individual readiness to change. And the next is materials and methods. The research method used is survey method. This method is carried out with approach to descriptive and explanatory research types, so that more complete method used is a descriptive survey. Sampling was done using a specific sampling technique. The population in this study were all diploma educators at the State University of Jakarta, with a research sample of 200 respondents. Result and discussion. In the Cornbelt alpha value more than 0.6, then the construct is declared valid. The result of the Cornbelt alpha calculation can be seen in the following table. The table above shows that the Cornbelt alpha value for the workplace well-being variable is 0.950. Psychological capital is 0.940, and individual readiness to change is 0.942, meaning that all variables in this study have a Cornbelt alpha value more than 0.6. So it can be said that all constructs in this research variable are valid. The next test is to calculate the indicator reliability value. The level of reliability is measured by the average variance x-thresh or AVE value and the composite reliability value. AVE shows the variance value obtained from each variable. Expect AVE value is more than 0.5. The higher the AVE value obtained indicates a strong diversity of indicators. Then, to measure construct reliability, it is also seen from the composite reliability value. Data that has a composite reliability value more than 0.6 can be said to have high reliability. The table 2 is composite reliability and average variance excess or AVE. The result of the composite reliability test in the table above show that the value of the composite reliability of all variables has a value of more than 0.6, which means that all constructs in the study are declared reliable. Then the AVE value for each variable in this study was quite varied. The AVE value on the workplace well-being variable is 0.743. Psychological capital is 0.770, and individual readiness to change is 0.684, where all AVE values are more than 0.5. Table 3. R squared. The result of the description based on the table above conclude that, first, R squared path model 1 equals 0.501, meaning that the constructability of the workplace well-being variable in explaining psychological capital is a 50.1%, or strong. And second, R squared pathway model 2 equals 0.727, meaning that the constructability of the workplace well-being variable and psychological capital is explaining readiness to change is 72.7%, or strong. Table 4 F squared. It is described from the F squared table above as follows. A. The relationship between the workplace well-being variable construct and the psychological capital construct is 1.0 0.006, which means that both have a strong relationship. B. The relationship between the construct of workplace well-being variable with the construct of individual readiness to change is 0.184, which means that both have a moderate relationship. And C. The relationship between the construct of the psychological capital variable and the construct of the individual readiness to change variable is 0.654, which means that both have a strong relationship. And this is table 5, PET coefficient or direct effect. Based on the result of the PET coefficient test in the table above, the workplace well-being variable has a positive effect on individual readiness to change, directly seen from the original sample value of 0.318, and this statistic more than 1096 is 50856. Then, based on the p-value of 0 less than 0.05, the well-being at work variable has a significant effect on the individual's readiness to change directly. Hypothesis 1 is the study is accepted. And then hypothesis 2. Psychological capital has a positive and a significant effect on individual readiness to change. Based on the result of the PET coefficient test in the table above, the variable psychological capital has a positive effect on individual readiness to change, directly seen from the original sample value of 0.598 and statistic more than 1096 is 12.08 12.806. Then, based on the p-value of 0 less than 0.05, the variable psychological capital has a significant effect on the individual's readiness to change directly. It can be concluded that psychological capital has a direct positive and significant effect on individual readiness to change. So, hypothesis 2 in this study is accepted. And the next is hypothesis 3. Workplace well-being has a positive and significant effect on psychological capital. Based on the result of the PET coefficient test in the table above, the well-being at work variable has a positive effect on psychological capital directly seen from the original sample value of 0.708, and the statistic more than 1096 is 19.150. Then, based on the p-value of 0 less than 0.05, the well-being at work variable has a significant direct effect on psychological capital. It can be concluded that workplace well-being has a positive and significant direct effect on psychological capital. So, hypothesis 3 in this study is accepted. This is the table 6, an indirect effect. Hypothesis 4. Psychological capital mediates the effects of workplace well-being on individual readiness to change. Based on the result of the total indirect effect in the table above, the variable workplace well-being on individual readiness to change with psychological capital as a mediating variable is indirectly seen from the original sample value of 0.423, and the statistic more than 1096 is 10.926. Then, based on the p-value of 0 less than 0.05, the workplace well-being variable has a positive and significant effect on the individual's readiness to change indirectly through the mediating variable of psychological capital. It can be concluded that psychological capital directly mediates the effect of workplace well-being on individual readiness to change. So, hypothesis 4 in this study is accepted. And the last part is a conclusion. The result of the study proved that exogenous variable or workplace well-being and psychological capital have a positive and significant effect on endogenous variable or individual readiness to change in diploma level educators at the State University of Jakarta. The result also proved that psychological capital is capable of being a mediator between the influence of workplace well-being on individual readiness to change positively and significantly. The results of this research are expected to become library material and information in the development of science, especially in the field of human research and in particular in developing theories about individual readiness to change. This research is also expected to be a reference for further research on the process of influencing several variables of workplace well-being, psychological capital, and individual readiness to change. I think it's enough for my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Keep healthy, everyone.